Hey guys, Ada here. Welcome to today's video and welcome to another speed build. We are in the world of Mount Cobberebi and that is the world that came with the Snowy Escape expansion pack. I am really excited for this week's content. Snowy Escape is definitely a pack where I feel the build and buy is incredibly strong. As I've said in builds like Horse Ranch, or I've said in like for rent builds, those kind of thematic builds that definitely have a theme, or the world has a theme, they tend to have better build and buys because they want to make sure you have enough assets to actively to kind of make sure that you can represent that culture or theme. So this is Japanese inspired, and we are building a rental home. So this is a 4x2 rental lot because Mount Cobberebi, is one of those vacational worlds in The Sims 4. So I thought let's do a vacational lot, a rental lot, and we'll do a small family home. So that's what we're doing for today's build. This is in the upper portion of the world, and where all the ski slopes are, and the up in the snow. That is why this is being built in the snow. I'm not a huge fan of building in the snow. It makes it very difficult to see roofing and colors and how it looks, but I don't mind it. So with Snowy Escape, there were definitely some more traditional builds, and there were a lot of kind of modern Japanese architecture. And I did do a little bit of a Google and have a look at that, and it is sound like you definitely have seen a lot of this kind of modern look. And when Snowy Escape came out, one of the big inclusions for Snowy Escape was platforms. So platforms were new to the game, and I haven't used because in Japanese culture Japanese homes, there are a lot of like sunken areas and sliding doors and things like that. So in order to achieve that, they've introduced platforms. So we've used a platform roof, but there are no platforms inside the home. But we've put the home on stilts, which is the other thing. These stilts came with Snowy Escape. And yeah, so a little bit more about this house. So it is, I would say it's semi-open floor. The main aspects of the build are all open. So your living areas are open, the dining space is open, you have 2 really large bathrooms, and you've got 4 rooms. So a master bedroom and a couple of kids' rooms, and then I think it's like another kind of adult's room. It could be for an adult, it could be for a teen. And that's because this is a rental, so you just want to make sure that you can house as many Sims as possible. And then we were starting with the floor plan. So I've done the floor plan, but just kind of the layout. So I've just grabbed a whole lot of assets and just had a little bit of a look around to see how I wanted to lay things out. I knew I wanted to use that, it's like a seating dining area. I really love that item, and I just put the hot pot directly on there. And that could be a method of dining, and we don't actually have a dining table in this build. That is the only I guess eating space and table, but there is an island for the kitchen. I believe that we do alter the kitchen slightly and add in an island bench. I could be wrong, but this kind of begins to showcase how good the items are for Snowy Escape. I love the kitchen set. The kitchen set is very modern, it's very contemporary, it's very classy, and it's so usable. And I love how you've got those shelves so you can slot items in, and they just work so well with other packs. So Snowy Escape, in terms of an expansion pack, is not my favorite in terms of gameplay. It's got a very strong build and buy, as I mentioned. Just some beautiful items that even if you weren't trying to do anything thematic, they're kind of modern and contemporary. So they definitely are very usable and they would fit in a lot of spaces. This fluffy rug I use all the time in bathrooms. The fireplaces are very beautiful. And the kitchen cabinets are definitely my favorite. And the oven's a nice little stove and oven that if you were to only have Basegame and this, it's a different option to what we have in the Basegame. Oh, and then also all of the windows and doors and the columns. The columns are really good in this pack. So my favorite columns in the games are actually from Get Together. They're a very famous column in the Sims 4 community. But that was last week's builds. So if you're looking for some Christmas builds, that was last week's content. So be sure to look at that if you're interested. But no, I mean Snowy Escape columns. They are also really good. So if you didn't have the Get Together pack and you wanted some really good columns that are very not too textured, very basic, very plain, have lots of swatches, very usable, I would recommend the ones from Snowy Escape. So we're just going through the window placement now and just putting in some wallpaper internally and just kind of like finalizing the exterior of this build. This lot is extremely, it's very deceptive. Like we have filled up this entire lot. We actually don't have much of a backyard at all. We will be alt placing a hot springs out there and we will enclose it and do like a little patio area. But outside of that, there really is not a lot of room. We have utilized the majority of this lot and it's a very rectangle lengthy build. Horizontal is more of a word I should use instead of rectangle. Sometimes I struggle with words and how to describe things, guys. You will have to be patient with me. But we'll get there. I really love these hanging lights. I tend to always just use the Basegame lights, the saucer lights, as you guys know. But sometimes if a pack has really good hanging lights, I will use them. And in this pack they did. I really love the paintings. I really love all of the shelving because this pack doesn't come with upper cabinets. And the plates. The plates item alone would have been a reason I bought this pack, just to have clutter, because at this time in The Sims 4 we didn't have any of that kind of everyday clutter. We of course now have the everyday clutter kit. So you can get kind of everyday mundane items from that kit. But at the time that this was released, that wasn't available. These ottomans are really cute. And yeah, so let's go through some standout items. The artwork, the painting, the beds, all the furniture items, your main furniture items, so your kitchen items. Couches are really nice. I love how you get those armchairs that have a bit of that fur rug. The faux fur rug. I'm saying it's faux fur. I really love that. It definitely gives you like sophisticated ski resort kind of vibes, and I love that. But then also a little bit of a cultural flair, which I really enjoy. And I love the little standing heater. Like we grew up with those, in my house and whatnot, and all of the swatches are so usable. They're plain and they're not funky colored like what we had in last week's builds for seasons. It's just such a solid pack, and I feel that like the stronger the build and buy is, the quicker it is for me to build, because things just flow and just go together really well. And that's what I did in this build. I think I did this build in a sitting. Like it was just I think it was like a 45-minute session, and I just put together this build. It was quite fun. All right, that was the master bedroom. We are now into like I could say a twin girls room, but I guess it's just a child's room, with it being a rental home. Any sim could sleep in here potentially. This is just really pink and fun. I wanted to use the cherry blossoms picture. I really love that. And the little cherry blossoms plant item, decor item. I put some books in because, with it being... It's interesting because with it being a rental, I guess I kind of made it very standard. I didn't put too much personality into the build because it is a rental as opposed to it being like somebody's home. And I felt that that was a little bit different. I still put like custom colors in all of the bedrooms, and I could have left the plain wallpaper that's used in the rest of the house. It would have been just as justified. So obviously part of Snowy Escape, snowboarding and skiing was a huge part of the pack. So I used this bedspread that kind of implied that, and then just went with a blue themed room. Put in a violin. I wanted to put tons of like skill building items because I feel like, I don't know, not that like when you're on vacation that you want to like do anything that's like strenuous, but it might be fun, you know. And I just took these wall decal posters and just sized them down. There is items and assets that are kind of allocated for all of the community lots. So I think there was a bar and there's a lodge, like a ski lodge. That would have been a fun build, but we haven't done that in this time. We have just stuck to a rental and a family home. And I think the small family home is it a 2x1? It might be a 2x1. And that's for Thursday's build. That is a really lovely build too. Very similar layout, but that has a dining table as well as that formal kind of sunken dining area. And yeah, so this is the last bedroom in the home, and it is just a, I don't know, I guess just another adult's room or a teen's room, simply decorated, nothing too fun in this room. And then opposed to that, we actually do have a room which is kind of like a study activity room, which I believe we'll be moving into next. And that is technically, we're doing the outside. So that is technically a 5th bedroom if you wanted it to be. If you wanted to alter that, you could make that into a 5th bedroom and make this a 5x2. But yeah, I thought that it was nice. I didn't know what I wanted to do with this space. I didn't know if I wanted the whole thing to be uncovered. In the end, I decided just to extend. Do I extend it? Potentially. I went with the hot springs object and I just alt placed it in a way that was probably not functional. I have no idea if that's functional. Probably should have checked it before I put it onto the gallery. But yeah, I just kind of decided to extend the platform roof and just do like an undercover area just to put something out here. We do not put very much landscaping on this build. I found it really difficult to landscape with the house being in snow. So that was one thing that I really struggled with. You'll see that here. So yes, this build is available on the gallery. So my Sims 4 gallery is Antoinette44. The information is below in the description if you need. And yeah, I really struggled. I think in the end, I just put some of the trees. We did actually get a tree in the build and buy catalog, but I combined that with some pine trees that were from Basegame because in this type of area in the world, that's what's surrounding the build. I could have used the debug menu. That would have helped out a little bit potentially just so that it was cohesive. But I just went in with some low-laying flowers and some shrubs and some trees. And that is mostly the landscaping done. And then I think we're moving into finishing the furnishing of that porch area. I decided to put in some pavement just to kind of give it a little bit of a lifted feel. And I love these lantern lights. These are cool. I've never used them before, ever. And I thought that'd be a good use of that object. I put in a ski rack, a bench. I said all of those like the little faux fur, I don't know what they are. They're not blankets. It's almost like the rug on the floor, but on like a chair or like a bench. And I think it looks really pretty. This was the first pack we got where we got a mailbox that was attached to like a wall mailbox, and I use it all the time. It's an item that I think is so underrated, and I think that it just adds really a more sophisticated look to more modern builds, for sure. All right, we are in the bathroom. So interesting enough, I think that in Japanese bathrooms, They have what they have in Australia sometimes, where they have a toilet that is separated to the main bathroom. So in my house, I have my ensuite has a toilet and the bath and shower and whatnot, but our main bathroom is separate to the main toilet of the house. I didn't do that in this build, but I could have. That would have made sense, but I kind of did like a half walled and separated it. I think it still looks nice. The other thing that we got in this pack was a freestanding shower. So this pack and Discover University, and I think Lovestruck now has a freestanding shower. So you can kind of do your custom built-in. Back in the day, we didn't have those beautiful sliding doors that were in Lovestruck. So I used a window and a half wall and just kind of created like a faux screen. And yeah, I really love how the bathrooms turned out. And that's just because I guess the items just run very contemporary and they just look so pretty. It's so easy to build bathrooms in that style. All right, I believe we are nearly done. So we are just going around and cluttering up a few of the spaces. This was a weird kind of section. It's just kind of like a little seating area. It's just like a hallway. I sized up the rug and I'm just going around making sure I've got enough paintings and wall hangings, and I really liked the blinds that had the palm trees. I thought they were a nice inclusion in the bathrooms. Oh, and there we are moving into that activity room. So this is just like a lot of what came with this pack was we got a new activity table and we got a new kind of science, chemistry, child's set. So I wanted to include those two items. They're not groundbreaking. We have seen like Seasons came with an activity table. The base game has the chemistry set. So they're not new, but I wanted to add it in, especially with it being a rental lot. You want to have things to do and activities. So this is just a desk and it's almost like a playroom with like a playroom / study. So yeah, I really like that. Just adding some speakers, and I believe that is it, guys. And we are just about to go live in game and we'll do the tour. So this is the exterior. I like it. It's very different because it just looks like a big giant rectangle, but it does have some shape to it, and the bump outs are what gives it shape. All right, so that's the kitchen and your dining area. Got to move the tree because it's clipping. You got a beautiful like seating area, which is very central, which I like. One of the things you'll notice with my builds is I section one wing will have bedrooms, the other wing will have living areas. There's that bathroom, and that leads into your master bedroom, kind of like a twin child room, into just fixing the wallpaper there, into a second kind of adult's room, I guess, or a teen's room, and then another child's room as well. And then we have the outside of the build, which has that beautiful, there's another bathroom. And then, yes, so we have that kind of patio area with the hot springs that I don't know are functional. And that is the build today, guys. Thank you so much for watching this far along. If you're still with us, please consider liking and subscribed. I would love to hear your feedback on this build in the comment section down below. And with that, I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye for now.